How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid, which was down on Friday 4.29%. We saw, as far as for the overall market, there was a strong sell-off. So I know I'm getting those questions. What do I see this stock doing on Monday? And as well as for the rest of the week, I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $18.08, being down 4.29%. On the low, it tested $18.02, and then on the high, testing $19.49. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 19.048 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 23.73 million shares. So we had a below average volume on the day, and we had a pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it's at 34.52. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 100-day, the 200-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. And you can clearly see that we are in a bear market with Lucid trading below all of our major moving averages. And this sell candle you see right here kind of gives you a good idea of how the pain was on Friday that just passed. So we ended up seeing a low of $18.02. So going into Monday, if we continue to have weakness in these markets, I'm looking forward to us actually testing prior support levels being here right around $17.64. And if this level breaks, which we've pointed out in previous videos, the next area where we have some support is right here around $16.10. So one thing that you want to be aware of, especially if we see a lot of weakness. If you're looking for a turnaround, you want to see some strength in the play. Remember we were talking about, hey, wanting Lucid to actually get above $19. It was able to reach that level, and then it also made a high on the Friday at $19.49. So if we have a turnaround or we see a rally, I'd want to see Lucid getting to $20. The last time we got to the $20 level, we saw a high at $20.01. And then I'd want to see a move to the 21-day EMA, which is around $20.81. And if it can reclaim this level and hold support, that's where we can see Lucid potentially getting back to $22. Again, that would be the best case scenario. But do know, they have earnings that is coming up on May the 5th. So depending on what those results are, again, at least you know what it looks like to the downside. As far as it shooting up and so forth, I'm personally not seeing it. Now, let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Lucid. Scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings for the 29th, we can see Vanguard has been loading heavy. So let's go through them. So we have a position at 27,625 shares. We have another position at 36,781 shares, another position at 75,151 shares, and as well as a position here at 7,387 shares. Then we have Clearview Wealth Advisors LLC that purchased 450 shares, and then we have Bellwether Advisors LLC that purchased 30,275 shares. We also have Wells Fargo that went in with 78 shares, and Capital Advisory Group that purchased 500 shares. We have Triple QM that purchased 463,182 shares. We're going to go over the ones that are the most notable, not these small ones like 50 and so forth. So the next one that we have in the thousands, we have Nauset Wealth Management LLC with 1,000, Parallel Advisors LLC that purchased 1,208, and then we also have NASDAQ 100 Index Fund K shares that purchased 141,385 shares. And going down even further, I don't think I had a chance to cover this. We have QLD that purchased 529,563 shares. And we have Vallejo in Financial Advisors LLC with 11,712 shares. And then we have TQQQ Pro shares that purchased just over 1.9 million shares. Take a look at the short interest information. The off-exchange short volume ratio is at 56.38%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 3.7 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 300,000, updated 12 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 9.05%. Taking a look at the history of the short volume, we could see for the close of the 28th, it was at 63.28. And then for the close of the 29th, being at 56.38. So what this shows us, even though we did have a decline in the short volume, we see for the short interest percentage of the flow being at 19.10%, Lucid does have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we see here on the inflow, it is at 47.08 million, and then on the outflow, it's at 71.21 million. So we had an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown on the large, it was 1.11. On the medium, it was 26.10, and then on the small, it is 19.87. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 3.54. On the medium, it was 47.43, and then on the small, it was 20.24. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for April the 29th, we had that outflow of negative 2.43 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, you can see that we had more selling than we had buying. No surprise due to the conditions we had in the market. Then taking a look at what happened on the medium, we had a lot more selling than we had buying. And then taking a look at the large, represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we took a look at the turnover ratio, consistent range. It was at 1.15%. And it's good to see this because what this shows us, many are still holding on to their positions. And we know as far as Lucid is concerned, it is mainly owned by institutions. Now, let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid, when it comes to the price action, we did have some weakness on the Friday, but we noticed this in the market overall. We ended up seeing a high of around $19.49. But if we break through the levels where we're at currently, we know the next level of support that we have is around $17.50. And if we break through $17.50, then the next area where we have some support is around $16.10. Again, I know a lot of my traders out there would be interested in these particular levels, and I know a lot of my long-term investors are continuing to watch Lucid, thinking about taking a position or even adding to their position. If you're looking for a bullish reversal out of this play, then of course you want Lucid to get to at least a 21-day EMA, which is around $20.81. So again, we're looking for a lot of strength. The last time Lucid got to the $20 range, it had resistance at $20.01. So that's one thing that we want to be aware of. We break through that level. Again, you want to see Lucid at 2081. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, institutions have been loading up the boat on shares. And like I said, it's not surprising knowing that Lucid is mainly owned by institutions. And then taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. I want to be clear now. I'm not saying that it's going to be short squeezing in the near term. I'm just saying that it has potential due to the fact there's a lot of shorts who are vested in the play. So that's why when we have a catalyst like we had the other day, we could see some strong moves in price action. But as far as for this week, it's definitely going to be interesting because we could end up seeing a rally in the markets, especially if Jerome Powell comes out, since we do have the FOMC meeting, and says, you know what, I'm going to be keeping things the same or giving what the market wants to hear. And what is that? We've already priced in the 50 basis points, which he said was on the table. So if he ends up following through with that, or even if he decides to go lower than the 50 basis points, I'm seeing a strong rally inside of the market, and I can see Lucid actually benefiting from this because it will be taking into consideration the news catalyst that it got the other day. Due to the fact that the conditions in the market have been very bearish, I wasn't expecting to see a strong pop out of this stock. And with earnings that is right around the corner, I'm not seeing a big spike either, and I'm also not going to be having high expectations whatsoever. Again, these are the conditions that we are in, and when taking a look at their previous earnings report, it wasn't that stellar, so that's why I feel like we have to make sure that we have realistic expectations to what we want to look forward to when they come out. But if they end up coming out with a surprise, this could definitely bring some momentum into the stock and also give investors more confidence to add more to their positions, and as well as new investors wanting to take a position as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how this stock performs on Monday. We'll talk soon.